Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to NGB Business News. You already know the greatest business news commentary channel on YouTube. And guys, I got a lot of topics today. It's my second stream. I used to stream before doing stuff on the stock market, and everything like that. But it's my second stream. We just kind of getting into a little news, chilling, relaxing. We got some good topics today. We got China, they've been kind of threatening the US with their new not a prime minister, but a foreign minister, which is pretty interesting. We don't have foreign ministers over here. I haven't really heard of that type of role, but it makes sense. Kind of like somebody dealing with foreign affairs, obviously. But that's real interesting because I can't lie. This whole is heating up. World War III. You never know. Russia, Ukraine. It's getting kind of crazy. So it's gonna be real interesting what's going on with that. I can see we also got Trump allegedly was saying, well, not even allegedly. Trump was pretty much saying that he pledges that he still will run in 2024, even if he is convicted. So even if he's dealing with a lot of these legal issues, as we know, I say over here on the channel all the time. The sky is blue, and Trump is always going to be either suing someone or getting sued. So he's got a lot of legal issues he had to deal with. And one of the people for one of his businesses, I don't know if it was the accountant, the business owner, he already got prison time. He got 3 months. So you never really know. Now we also have to talk about these Americans that were these 4 Americans that were unfortunately, kidnapped in Mexico. It did not end well for 2 of them and everything like that. So I kind of want to touch on that. Really see it was good because I haven't really looked into it much, and I don't know if you guys have either. So, that's something I want to kind of look at. We're going to have to look at what's going on with this whole kind of, this news station that, was apparently reporting on a lot of things incorrectly because of some possibly leaked text messages. What was it? It was something like, let me see. I think it was Fox News. And apparently I don't know if they were making it look worse or if they were making it look better, but apparently they were also manipulating the, the storming of the Capitol and everything like that and kind of playing it out differently. But there's a whole lot of topics today. We could possibly even touch into the WeightWatchers because you guys know that's up 70%. That's great. They got bought and they're up 70%, which is insane. Shout out to anybody who actually had WeightWatchers at this point in time. I don't know, really. It seems kind of weird when America is just getting more and more overweight to invest into. But then again, those industries do normally, I think they do quite well. I guess, I don't know, if a nation has more of a weight problem, I guess there's more of a demand for weight loss? Or do you think if a country has a weight problem, you probably shouldn't invest into weight loss because they have a growing weight problem? I don't know. It's a very interesting thing, but it seems like a lot of those industries that can really get into it are doing well, but I don't know the overall gist of it. But let's go into the first article. Let's see what's going on, and everything like that. This is, China, conflict with China is inevitable unless the U.S. changes course, Beijing's new foreign minister warns. So it says the fiery comments echoed President Xi Jinping remarks blaming U.S. efforts to contain China for deteriorating relations and suggesting Beijing would increasingly seek to push back. So this is not looking good at all. As you guys already know, China's relations with the United States have not been good at all. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I got to flip the screen. Let me flip the screen for you guys. But China's, their relations with us in the U.S. have not been good at all, for years upon years at this point. And, there's a whole thing with the balloons that made it even worse. It was very embarrassing for our government that, we thought there was 1 balloon, but there was actually 4 or 5 that passed in the last few years. And they really just didn't tell us and everything like that. It's a little ugly, but, yeah. Also know there's TikTok that they've got that they're kind of feeding the American youth right now with TikTok and everything like that. So might as well make myself a little bit bigger for this. Yep. All right. So let's see what it says. So it says Beijing, the U.S. and China are hurtling towards inevitable confrontation and conflict unless Washington changes course, Beijing's new foreign minister warned Tuesday. So basically, unless we change course. So that's essentially saying whatever we're doing right now, they're not with it. It says Chinese foreign minister. I'm gonna whiff some of these names possibly. Quinn or Qin. Gang's fiery comments underline. So I'm assuming that's what China's new not foreign prime minister. Always, every time I hear minister, I'm thinking about minister in a church or the prime minister. But foreign minister warned. You know what I'm saying? The guy who warned. Now it says deepening tensions between the world's two largest economies in the wake of the surveillance balloon saga, which we talked about, and Russia's war on Ukraine. As you guys know, China and Russia, they're like this right now, you know? And we've been giving Ukraine a lot of money, so that's obviously going pretty much directly towards the war effort in Russia. And with China being an ally of Russia, that's why everybody thinks World War III is possible, because, you know, let's say we attacked Russia or Russia attacked us, then our allies would step in. Or if it was vice versa, then their allies would step in, which would be China. Then it'd be a whole thing between us and China and the UN, you know, and everything like that. So it could get pretty crazy. Now it says they echoed simply sharp remarks Monday by China's leader, blaming U.S. efforts to contain China for deteriorating relations and suggesting Beijing would increasingly seek to push back, like we said earlier. He spoke at a news conference in Beijing, his first since he took office in December, so he's been around since December, on the sidelines of the annual meeting of China's rubber stamp legislature, where he's expected to complete the biggest government reshuffle in a decade. I think the interesting about this, too, is they're talking about a reshuffling of China's government. The Chinese did not strike me as people who were looking to restructure their government, you know? Like, it's almost pretty much impossible to even, like, get into China. You know? Like, you ever had a friend saying, like, I'm visiting China? Like, probably not. You know? I mean, it's possible, but, you know, it's tough. And, you know, with this whole, as tense as it's been throughout the last years, just involving trade, just involving social things like technology, like with TikTok, how they can kind of spy through us through TikTok, and how their TikTok is a lot more filtered than our TikTok that we give to our kids. But with their kids, they're not okay with that. And the whole Russia thing, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, you know, and everything like that. But a restructuring is very strange, you know, restructuring. Or they call it reshuffling, but, you know, I'll see, like, you know, shuffle it up. But, you know, pretty much the same thing. Now, it says in a wide-ranging rebuke of U.S. policies, who until recently was the Chinese ambassador to the U.S., questioned President Joe Biden's assertion that the U.S. seeks competition with China, but not conflict. So I'm assuming by that they mean like trade competition with them. Like, we want to be able to trade with them, and, you know, still, as they said, we're the two largest trading partners, the U.S. and China. You know, we still want to be able to compete and, you know, trade with you guys, along with you guys. Possibly, we want peace. Basically, is what it sounds like. But we want to do this without any type of conflict or issue, or where it gets to a certain point where it gets like, you know, the Russia-Ukraine situation, because that's out of hand. Like, it's out of hand. Let's keep it a stack. It's out of hand. Now, it says, in fact, the U.S. side's so-called competition is an all-around containment and suppression and a zero-sum game, he said, suggesting conflict may be unavoidable unless Washington stops trying to suppress Beijing. Wow, he was going in. I'm drinking Miller High Lifes. But he was going in, like, he was basically, at this point, he was saying that this is based off of trade. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with the Russian-Ukraine war, he's saying that for a long time, the U.S. has tried to cut China off from trade from the rest of the world, and that basically it's hindering them. He said, here it says, containment, like, as to, you know, leave people in, and suppression, you know, as to bring people back. Basically saying, hey, you're not even allowing us to express ourselves into this world. A zero-sum game. Now, he says the U.S. supposedly wants to put guardrails on Sino-US relations and not to clash. Like, so, in that whole like lower Asian region, the US does a lot of trade there. China does a lot of trade there too. And this is something that I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I feel like this is something that they were arguing about before, and everything like that. And so that's kind of like a hot spot. It says, in fact, it wants China to respond in words or action when slandered or attacked. That is just impossible. If the U.S. side does not put on brakes and continues down the wrong path, no amount of guardrails can stop the derailment and roll over into confrontation and conflict. So, yeah, he was really coming with that heat. He was saying if y'all don't stop this, there is going to be a problem. He was saying there is going to be a problem. Wow. Now, he accused China of trying to fence them in. Now, it says here, he also criticized Washington's decision early last month to shoot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon off of South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. We're from the A. We're from Georgia over here. So, shout out to our brothers in South Carolina. Now, instance being that it appeared over U.S. territory by accident. He said the U.S. side violated the spirit of international law and international practice by making presumptions of guilt, overreacting, abusing force, and making use of the issue to create a diplomatic crisis that could have been avoided. Well, that's a very interesting take, don't you guys think? It's almost like he's saying at that point, like, how could you blame us so fast? How could you not come to us in a cordial manner? And everything like that. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, because I really don't know what really is going on with these balloons. But, like, if they're clearly Chinese balloons, then they're clearly just Chinese balloons. And especially with the tensions and everything like that. I don't think China would be cool with us having balloons over China. Like, American balloons flying over China. So, I can't really speak on that because I don't really know, the ins and outs of this balloon. Let me know what you guys think, or if you guys have heard anything else. Wow, you guys see how they get down? They're gonna get down. I like the form and the walk. The form and the walk is nice. Now, he said they disrespected China's sovereignty and territorial integrity by providing defensive weapons to the island, which Beijing has said it could take by force if necessary. He also denied U.S. allegations that China is considering providing Moscow with ammunition and artillery to aid in its fight against Ukraine. Wow. The U.S. has warned China not to supply arms to Russia for its war. China and Russia declared a no-limits partnership weeks before Russia invaded Ukraine a year ago, and China has tried to appear neutral in the conflict, refraining from condemning Russian aggression or even calling it an invasion. Well, it seems kind of weird because, we give a lot of money to Ukraine. I don't know if we necessarily give weapons to Ukraine. I wouldn't be surprised if we did, honestly. But, we give a lot of money to Ukraine. So, would we be mad if China gave money to Russia? Or is that fine? I don't know. Maybe it'll say. I feel like it's a little, you know what I'm saying? Obviously I'm USA, but like you guys see how that could be like kind of weird, like kind of off, Now, it says China is neither the creator of the crisis nor a party to it, nor has it provided weapons to any party to the conflict. So why should China be blamed, sectioned, pressured, or even threatened? He repeated calls for a negotiated solution to the Ukraine conflict. Western officials quickly dismissed a 12-point proposal that Beijing issued last month as too favorable to Russia. So this is one thing, too, that, isn't really in the United States media like that. This is United States media, but this is the first I'm hearing about it. Like, I guess also we don't really talk about or think about China in our media too much. Correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, for sure. Obviously I'd be on the media too. But, yeah, that seems pretty interesting. Like, I'd never known that China had wrote up their own proposal between Ukraine and Russia and everything like that. I could definitely see why. Did it say only the United States? It let's see here. Western officials. So that could be United States, Europe, like a bunch of those countries, NATO, But yeah, like I had no idea they did that. So that's actually very interesting. He said it is regrettable that efforts to persuade and promote talks have been undermined, as if an invisible hand is pushing the conflict to escalate, take advantage of the Ukrainian crisis to achieve certain geopolitical intentions. They're basically saying, hey, we did what we could possibly do to help it out, you know what I'm saying? And you guys rejected it, possibly because you may be getting some type of advantage out of this war, basically saying you guys are snakes. Basically calling us snakes. I mean, this was a A1, you know what I'm saying? This was a A1 takedown. Like he said what he had to say. He really held his I don't know what you could say, masculine frame, you could call it. Like he did not back down on his threat. He gave many reasons why he felt he was entitled to this threat. It wasn't all emotions. He came with what he perceives as possibly facts and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, this was I'm gonna have to give this Chinese threat to the U.S. a clean 8.7. Like, it's not even funny. Like it's really not even funny. But I'm gonna have to give it like an 8.7, guys. But also, guys, of course, like the video, and everything like that. That really helps the channel grow. I really do appreciate that. And this has really been a really interesting one. I'm about to get some water, get into the next topic. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. So I'll be right back, guys. All right. I got my water. Let's see what's going on with this. As you guys already know, Trump pretty much, you already know he was trying to run for president in 2024. We all saw it coming, everything like that. We all saw that happening. But he's now saying that he's going to run even if he is criminally charged, which is pretty interesting because, Trump has he's got a lot of charges against him. Like we always say here, he's either suing somebody or he's getting sued. So he's got a lot to deal with, just a lot. You can't even go into all the cases that he has to deal with. There's the papers that were found at Mar-a-Lago. There's a lawsuit that he had against that media company for interviewing him. There's the stuff with the election fraud in Georgia. Like, there's the stuff with all of his businesses. It's too much to even really get into. Well, let's see what he's talking about. This water is kind of good. A little ice. All right, so it says, former President Donald Trump said Saturday he will remain in the 2024 presidential race, even if he faces criminal charges in the ongoing investigation into his handling of the White House documents and alleged 2020 election tampering, which I was just talking about both of those, the documents in Mar-a-Lago and the 2020 election tampering. Now, this is kind of interesting to me, especially with the whole both of these have to do with being president. I think that's where this really, for me, breaks down with. We're just at the beginning of the article. But I would say that's definitely kind of what I see. It's like, think about it. It's like, not only are you trying to get, run for president, but you're dealing with two cases involving you having executive papers at your Mar-a-Lago home in Florida and election fraud, which has to do with you getting elected to be president. So I think there's a big difference between possibly these charges not involving, government at all, and it involving, his executive power. Now, it says Trump made a pledge in response to Newsmax James Rosen, a former Fox News reporter, at a press conference in the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC. Rosen tweeted on Saturday. And this was his tweet right here. Now it says he launched his 2020 White House bid in November, a week after Republicans lost a number of important midterm races. As you guys know, in the last midterm races, the Republicans did hold an L. They definitely hold the L in many states. And, Trump had backed a lot of the Republicans too as well. So that kind of had an impact. Now it says recent polling of GOP voters showed that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, widely deemed Trump's main competition. Florida, we've actually spoken about that. If you guys didn't know, the main guy that could possibly be running for Republican presidential candidate, it's like they said, DeSantis in Florida. He would beat Trump if the two came head to head. DeSantis has not yet launched a bid for presidency, but they think if anybody has a chance to do it, they think that he's going to be that guy. He's that guy, you know what I'm saying? So Trump's campaign takes place amid an ongoing Department of Justice investigation into whether he removed nearly 3,000 documents from the White House and potentially tampered with 2020 election results. The FBI seized nearly 200,000. Dang, I'd never heard how many papers it was. Jeez, that is tough. From Trump's Mar-a-Lago property in September. On Friday, Trump's lawyers asked the federal court to block his former vice president, Mike Pence, from speaking to a grand jury concerning alleged efforts to overturn the former president's 2020 election loss, claiming executive privilege. Several media outlets reported. Now it says the investigation came after Trump was impeached twice with charges of high crimes. Dang, high crimes, guys. High crimes. And misdemeanors, once for allegedly using foreign aid to extort Ukraine, and a second time for inciting the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, which we possibly will get into later today. As you guys know, Fox News has been accused of, basically falsifying their news. I don't know how you would say it, or reporting false news, making it look worse and or better than it actually was, for the purpose of getting views and everything like that, which is a terrible thing as a news outlet. You really can't do that, of course. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Also, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff and everything. I appreciate that for sure. We're just going to have to see what's going on with this. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going on with the president with two charges that, honestly, a lot of people we already know are going to vote for Trump. And he's got two charges that literally have to do with being a president, like presidency, so that's going to be really interesting. I want to know what you guys think about that for sure and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and see what's good with this next topic. How you guys been doing, by the way? Hope you've been good. Hope you've been drinking your water. I'm smashing my water. Let me put this down. Okay. So it says 2 Americans are, deleted, and 2 are back in the U.S. after a violent kidnapping in Mexico, officials say. I'm sure you guys have heard about this kidnapping and everything like that. It's been crazy. It's been pretty crazy, a lot of times. But with these foreign countries, I feel like you really got to be real safe if you don't understand them. Like, it's different if you know somebody from Mexico, you've been around somebody from Mexico. But just like the United States has dangerous areas and you wouldn't know that as a tourist, so are these other places, and everything like that. And you already know, like, those Mexican cartels do not be playing around. They do not be playing around, so do not play them. Do not try them. Just don't even be anywhere around them, really, if you can help it. It's almost like, Atlanta, like where I'm from. Like, you come into Atlanta, like you can have a great time as a tourist coming into Atlanta. There's tons of things for you to do. You can have a great time. It's a great city. But obviously, if there could be one neighborhood that's good and it's great, and then you slide down literally a neighborhood, a few minutes away, and all of a sudden it's a whole different lifestyle. It's a whole different situation and everything like that. So, before you go to these countries, I would definitely say just do your research as well as you can, and just, put yourself in whatever type of situation you can to protect yourself. And I actually haven't really looked into this, so I'm actually very kind of excited to get to, learn a little bit more about this story, and along with you beautiful people. Also, throw the like, comment, subscribe. Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? I love you. Love me too. Ooh. Ooh. Now I'm playing with y'all, but let's get it. So it says 2 of the 4 Americans who were shot by gunmen and kidnapped shortly after crossing the border into northern Mexico for a medical procedure. Them BBLs, they be going down for them BBLs. Like, last week are dead, and 2 survivors are back on American soil, Mexican and a U.S. officials said Tuesday. I do not know how to say this, but I'm going to try to, and you guys can correct me, maybe spell it out in the comments or something, you know what I'm saying? Sound out each syllable for me. Tamaulipas, yeah, State Governor Americo Villarreal, said in a news conference Tuesday afternoon a woman and a man had survived the kidnapping. The woman, identified as Lativia, was unharmed. The man, whose first name was Eric, had a gunshot wound to the leg, he said. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know there was any men involved. I thought in the story when I had first seen it, I thought it was like 4 women who had went to Mexico. I did not know there was a man involved. Very happy to see they're back. Very happy to see that they're back with their families. I'm sure this had to be an extremely traumatic experience, so I hope their mental health and everything is able to handle, that type of stress, that type of trauma and everything like that. I'm glad to see them back home, and as we know, 2 apparently did not make it back home, so that's very sad. That's just a very sad story in general, but like I said, let this be a lesson to us all, like, what I'm saying, before you go to certain just foreign countries, just do your research. There's a lot to love about Mexico. There's a lot to love about Europe, a lot of these Asian countries, these African countries, and everything like that. But do your due diligence, really see what's going on with these places in certain areas before. Like, the locals will, a lot of times they'll let you know. A lot of times they're real nice and they're cool people. But, before you even get to even see the locals, what I'm saying? Look it up. Now it says they were taken for medical treatment and returned to the U.S. by an international bridge between Matamoros, Mexico, and Brownsville, Texas, before noon Tuesday. Okay. A 24-year-old man from, that region, identified only as Jose, was found guarding the victims and arrested, according to them. So somebody was literally guarding, these Americans. How the whole arrest went would be pretty interesting to know as well. Was there a shootout? This is the kind of stuff I would be interested in knowing. Like, was there some type of fight? Was it just like they pulled up and he was like, oh, you guys got it, and everything like that. The governor announced the casualties at presidential news Tuesday morning. Now he said, of course, the survivors returned to the U.S. and they're trying to repatriate the remains of the 2 Americans who were, deleted in this incident. I'm not sure what that means. What does that mean? Does that mean like find the remains? We know what the remains are, unfortunately. Man, this is a soft story. But you know what I mean? Find the remains and everything like that. If you guys know what that means, just let me know. So they were found in a wooden house close to an area called La Laguna. Nona. La Luca Nona. Oh, that's kind of sexy. La Luca Nona. You have your, like, your, this isn't a Corona, but you know, you have your Corona, and you're like, La Luca Lona. La Luca Lona. You know what I mean? And it's not even funny though. But the Americans were found by joint search action. So I'm assuming that means between probably the Mexican government and the American government working together, you know, in the search. He said the Americans have been transported to various places, including a clinic, to create confusion and interrupt the rescue work. Well, that's interesting. Investigation continues. Now, it says the FBI ordered $50,000 reward. They were kidnapped driving there, south of Brownsville, which makes sense. Dramatic video showing a gunman dragging people into a white pickup. Capture. I saw this video. Actually recently because I'm a little bit later on this news. And I didn't know if that was like them finding the people or if it was them capturing the people. Because you didn't really see much of a struggle or anything like that. It was kind of, that was kind of crazy. So now I know that's what the video was. And I thought it was either way. I didn't know which it was. So I didn't really know how to think about it. But wow, man, that's crazy. These are the members that were identified. Latavia Washington. And there's her mother and everything like that. Glad to see them all alive for sure. Then the guy was unfortunately shot in the leg. So they're from South Carolina and been traveling in a rental vehicle with North Carolina license plates when they entered. They confirmed the group was traveling in a white minivan with North Carolina plates. They went for a medical procedure. I want to know what this medical procedure was. Like that they needed to go to Mexico for that. You know? A cosmetic medical procedure, it says here. The official said cartel gunmen had targeted the group in a case of mistaken identity. Wow. And this is them talking about one of the victim's brothers here. It's a bad dream you wish you could wake up from, to see a member of your family thrown in the back of a truck and dragged. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have too much news on the others that were unfortunately deceased. That's sad. But yeah, guys, definitely this is a pretty touching subject. You already know, and everything like that. Also, you know, like, comment, subscribe, show the channel some love. I appreciate you guys popping in here. You know, we're just starting to now live stream, so I'm gonna be live streaming probably like in between Monday and Thursday around like 8, possibly 9 o'clock ish and everything like that. So if you like the content, definitely, you know, tune in and everything like that. But yeah, this is just it's really a sad story, I gotta say, like with this whole kidnapping. It's like, it's kind of strange. It also makes you wonder too, was it really mistaken identity, or, you know, could the cartels have possibly seen the tags, you know, possibly have did something like that. I also want to see if we can get some more information into what happened to the deceased. We have a lot of information, a little bit about the stories to what happened to the living, and, you know, hopefully in the future they'll give us a little bit more of an insight into what's going on with that. What's up, Andrea? And everything like that. But, you know, we really kind of want to see, like, what's kind of the story with the deceased. Why were they killed, and the other two able to get away? What kind of intentions were there with everything like that? I think that could be real interesting and everything like that to know. And, you know, we're probably honestly not going to hear too much about this case anymore. I highly doubt, you know, that we're really going to get more information on this. But, you know, it is what it is, and it happens. It happens for sure. Well, let's see here. Let's get into Tucker Carlson. As you guys know, there's been this whole Fox News situation going on and everything like that, with the whole election fraud. It was basically election fraud, them kind of lying about it or making it look better or possibly worse than it was. There was also the whole White House situation and everything like that with the, obviously the storming of the White House and Fox News kind of manipulating that, making it look like it possibly either wasn't as bad or as good. We're going to get into that. But basically, Fox is under a lot of fire right now, if you guys didn't know. I actually didn't know until earlier today, until one of my coworkers had said something about it. And I was like, wait, what? Fox News is under fire? And he was like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And when I saw his face say, oh yeah, I had to get into it. So what I'm saying? We're going to just see what's going on with this. Get a sip of my brew. Let's see. But to me, there's nothing worse than people who report false news, especially knowing it and trying to manipulate it. And I heard there was a whole thing with people sending text messages saying that they're gonna, well, clank, yeah, clank, saying that they're gonna, basically they had text messages that were saying that they were going to essentially change the news in a way. They were saying they were going to oh nah, Donald Trump's bad and everything like that, so we're going to go against him and everything like that. And, you really want your news channels to be as neutral as possible. I mean, if it's something like a YouTube channel, something like this, I may tell you how I feel and everything like that, but this isn't a news channel. This is me telling you how I feel, seeing how you feel. We have a back and forth and we can both learn from it. But from a news channel, you're just supposed to report the straight facts. It should have nothing to do with how you feel about it, whether you're on this side or whether you're on the other side, because really you're supposed to give everybody the facts and then you're supposed to allow them to feel how they want to feel about it and everything like that. So let's see what's going on with this. Now it says Rupert Murdoch suggested Fox News host went too far with election fraud claims. Excuse me. Now it says more revelations from Fox Corp chairman Rupert testimony, as well as evidence gathered from Fox executives and TV hosts in the months following the 2020 election came to light on Tuesday as part of the Dominion voting system's 1.6, not million, but can you say it with me, choir? Say it with me, choir. 1.6 billion with a B lawsuit. That's almost like, it's like, on the NBA, let's say somebody cross you up, you know what I'm saying? They hit you with the layup, they be like, that's cash money. That's $1 million. $1 billion is when LeBron coming straight up from the free throw line and he just yanks his arm. He yanks it all the way back, just stretches all this getting stretched out and just yams right in somebody's face. That's what happens when lawyers hear a $1.6 billion lawsuit or companies. No one's eating that. No one is eating that. Elon Musk ain't eating that. Let's continue. Now it says hundreds of pages of gathered evidence from both sides, including full excerpts of testimony from depositions, text messages, and emails. So dang, they were depositions. From court cases, text messages, they was all up in the phone. Emails were published on Tuesday, providing a glimpse into the back and forth at the right-wing TV network in the months following the 2020 election. Basically, they came with their bag. They came with all the evidence. They was like, look at this, look at this. No, Fox News, they on you. It looked like they on Fox News. Right now, it looking like Fox News is taking a big L. The question, too, is what type of... With the media and the news being I would feel the most untouched. Now we have new forms of media. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. Oh, my God. You could even say TikTok, YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We get media from a lot of places. It's not, it's not how it used to be back in the day, where you used to go to Yahoo News. You used to go to CNBC like I'm on right now and everything like that. Or, we take it even further back and you used to have to get the newspaper and everything like that. But now it's like, what would it be like to really hold these real big ones accountable? Think about the CNBC, the NBC, the CNN, the CNBC. When they report false news, do they is there a canceling? When have you guys ever heard of a large TV news network being canceled for reporting false news? That's what I want to know. Not the shade room, not somebody on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like not a singular person like me. You know, I come out here, I wild, I say something too crazy. Y'all going? I mean, I'm impossible to cancel. Like at this point, like I'm impossible to cancel. Like I don't know. There's not enough of y'all to cancel me yet. But if y'all wanted to somehow cancel me, I don't know why y'all would. Because like I said, there's no following. But I could get easily canceled. Where has there ever been an occurrence where a news station that has been on TV for 30, 40, 50 years been held accountable for things like this possibly? That's the question I want you guys to ponder, and that's really what I want to. What do you guys think about that? That's really what I want to know, because I can't think of an occurrence like that. I can think of plenty of times where there's been like, oh, the media has been wrong about that. Slap on the wrist. And they just keep on doing it. Hey, as long as it gets the views, right? You know what I'm saying? As long as it gets the views. Now, maybe Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham. It's funny. It's not like Ingram. It's like Ingraham. Went too far. All very well. Now they should be held accountable. They should be held accountable. It also is the question comes down to will they be held accountable? They've never been held accountable ever before. You know what I'm saying? Which is very sad. And you know, the media is the most dangerous thing on earth. Like, you know, the media can let's say with your children, for instance, you can, even if you're a stay-at-home parent, you're a stay-at-home dad, you're a stay-at-home mom, you know what I'm saying? You're never going to be able to fully control everything that your child sees. And the media's job is literally to present what is happening into the world out to the people. So think of how dangerous that can be, not only for children, but just for the average person, especially, sorry to say, the average stupid person that will listen to anything. I don't think that's most people, but they are out here, you know what I'm saying? And think about the repercussions that could have if they're looking at a situation completely differently, or they're being influenced to think that they should move a certain type of way, and they think that's the way that they really should move, when really they're being lied to from the media. And the media doesn't even have to deal with the consequence for lying to that person and possibly manipulating that person to think differently, move differently, or even children. You know what I'm saying? That's why China loves having TikTok over here. TikTok is a Chinese company. They filter their TikTok. They don't filter ours. They hate us. Why do you think they do that? Because they know TikTok is negative for our children. We all know TikTok is negative for our children. You see them Chinese children out there, they be eating. They be doing what they got to do. Our children be on TikTok talking about some... They're over here learning quantum physics. Come on now. Let's do better. But as we already know, TikTok might get banned. We just talked about that like 2 days ago. But and I'm for it. I'm for it. Just because I know what's going on with TikTok. If it was an American company or not in China, I would probably be a little bit more for it. Maybe a little bit more regulation, because they really do be wilding. But let's keep it going. Let's stay on topic, guys. Hey, Dre, you got me off topic. Just kidding. You don't. But Tucker Carlson, who went on to push false claims about the 2020 election, ripped then-President Donald Trump in January 2021 text messages, according to the filings. I hate him passionately. There really isn't an upside to Trump. And this gets really interesting, too, because it also makes you think about, okay, so freedom of speech has to play a part in here. If you're a newscaster, obviously you're still going to feel a certain type of way about the Democratic or the Republican candidate for president, but that shouldn't affect your job. Does that mean that he should be not able to have that job because he has an opinion? But how could he also not have an opinion? You know, of course he has one. I mean, maybe he should watch the way that he speaks, you know, and everything like that. But I think that's really where the conversation and this aspect of it really comes to, where it's like, okay, let's say I'm working a job. Okay, think about it like this. You're working a job. You absolutely can't stand your boss, but you're an excellent worker. You do everything that you need to be done, that needs to be done, and everything like that. You know, no one at the job really hears you talk trash about, you know, the boss or anything like that. I don't know, maybe your wife or your husband maybe hear something like that. But you hate them, you know, but you're doing your job. You should still probably be able to work, right? Like, it would be very unjustified for you to be fired if, let's say, they looked up your text messages between you and your wife. Not somebody at the job, but you and your wife. That would be an infringement on your free speech. You're saying how you feel about them, but you're still doing your job 100%. And you're not being disrespectful in any type of way. Now, it does become different when you're talking to people at your job about your boss negatively. Then the situation changes a lot and everything like that. And it definitely changes if your opinion of your boss makes you work differently in a way that could be negative to your boss. At that point, batter up, I think I hit a home run. Boy, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of sense. But with this, I think it's very interesting because text messages were being released. How many of them were genuinely private? Were they business? You know, with the emails. So, you know, that's just an interesting aspect to look at it. It's just a sticky American government type of situation is what I would say, honestly. Like, it's almost like at this point we might as well just get our presidents together and just like run some like the real presidents of Hollywood, the real presidents of Washington at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like Donald Trump, it's like Obama. We got Bush in there. You might as well throw Sleepy Joe, but I mean, like, he's not gonna be good for the camera because he's always gonna be in the back room like sleep. Like, Joe, I love you. No, I'm just playing. Well, I'm not playing. Joe, I do love you. You're just not a good president. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. But let's get back to it. God, you guys got me over here talking about the real what is it? The real presidents of Washington. Can we start that? Hey, cheers with my water ice cup to that. Because I think that would be a great show. We need that. Trump would be the bully. Trump would be the Natalie Nunn. If you guys know, like what is it, the Bad Girls Club? Trump would definitely be like the Natalie Nunn. Who would be next on the aggression show? Presidents aren't really aggressive, you know. You know, who would be the next? None of those other presidents really. I guess Trump is an anomaly. Like, now let's continue, people. All right, we got so off topic there, but hey, I think the real presidents of Washington would be lit. And at this point, with all the drama Trump's got us going through with all these court cases, and just like when he entered, we were like, this is it. This is a game. Like, remember when Trump first started running, we thought he was like a television star or celebrity and everything like that. Now he's a real politician, and he might just win in 2024, even if he's convicted. Which is what this entire article is about. Let's get back into it. Hey, shout out to the second person that popped in. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're having an excellent day. A Delaware judge ordered the documents unsealed. While portions of depositions and evidence have been released in recent weeks, Tuesday's filings are the most extensive revelations regarding private communications at Fox Corp and Fox News. So they all up in Fox News. Like, they are all up in Fox News's biz at this point, which I think is great. I think Fox deserves this, and I think news outlets need to be really they need to be watched. You can't just be out here putting out false news, and you know they're out here fishing for news. Like, they actively have people going out on the streets looking for that nice juicy news. And you know, if you get that juicy news, you get that raise. What is that incentive instantly to put out false news? Now, it says Dominion argued in its suit that Fox and its I think it meant to say like right-wing cable TV channels And Talent falsely claimed that its voting machines rigged the results of the 2020 election. They really cannot get over this 2020 election. And I really think the whole rigging thing is really becoming a problem, because if the American government, I think the worst thing about it is if the American people feel as though the elections are rigged, as many people that already don't go out to vote today. And you know what I'm saying, I caught the last vote, but I don't know if I caught the one before, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Crucify me, I understand. I take accountability, you know what I'm saying? I take accountability, roast me if you want to. They won't go vote. Yeah, I feel it. But like I said, and everything like that is, if the American people feel like our votes are really fake, whether it's Trump talking about there's false votes in Georgia, whether it's Putin literally saying I might have to talk about it tomorrow. Putin literally was saying that they will. Well, okay, it may not have been out of Putin's mouth, but basically the Russian government was saying they will be affecting the 2024 votes, and they did affect the 2020 votes. Like, they literally said that. It leaves no trust in government and no trust in democracy. And that's what made America beautiful, right? Our trust in democracy. Democracy. You feel a certain type of way. I feel a certain type of way. We can come together. We can talk about it. Bring a bunch of people together. Vote and do what's best for the overall general good. And if you can't vote and you don't feel like your vote actually counts, democracy is dead. Let's keep it a stack. I need one of those things, like, for like live streams, like the buzzer beaters, like the I don't know, like right now I'm trying to hit the, like, it's dead, like buzzer beater, like where's the buzzer beater? You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. But let's see what's going on. Now he says, we already know they will say and do anything to try and win this case, but to twist and even misattribute quotes to the highest levels of our company is truly beyond pale. They're saying they twisting that info. They twisting it. Let's see what's going on. Audience's followings. Now it says here, you get a few gray hairs from being awake at sports ratings or news ratings or entertainment ratings are probably the worst. So, how to say this? Launch lawn, I would say. You guys know I like to try the words. What I'm saying? I don't like to skip too much, it builds up the vocabulary. Murdoch, so launch lawn, Murdoch, said according to court papers. Spell those out for me in the comments if you know how they're said. A spokesperson for Dominion said Thursday the emails, texts, and deposition testimony speak for themselves. We welcome all scrutiny of our evidence because it all leads to the same place. When people come with the evidence, that's how you know it's real. You know what I'm saying? When the people come with the evidence, that's when you need to start sweating. Like, people talking about how they feel, just don't even listen. If they talking about they got evidence, they ready to show it. They talking about, I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'll email you right now. Them text message threads, like them email threads, them email archives. Boy, you better run. You better run because you're about to lose. Now, it says Fox knowingly spreads lies, causing enormous damage to an American company. Guns blazing. They got their guns blazing. Now it says Trump has repeatedly spread false claims that the 2020 election between him and, Joe Biden, oh yeah, shout out Joe, we love Joe here, was rigged. He attempted to pressure a top official in Georgia to find votes. Yeah, we talked about this Georgia election. And there's that case there that does not look like it's going well for Trump. Shout out Fulton County. Fulton County actually was, I don't know which judge it was specifically, but yeah, Trump's in Fulton County court. For all my guys in Atlanta watching, you guys definitely know Fulton County court. Hopefully not like that. Hopefully not. But you guys definitely have, seen the building, rode by. You guys know Fulton County. Now, have become the subject of a criminal probe in the state, which, of course, Trump lost to Joe Biden. Now, somebody said, who said that? Let's see here. Bartiromo said, I want to see massive fraud exposed. Will he be able to turn this around? I told my team we're not allowed to say president-elect at all, not in scripts or banners on air until this moves through the courts. So you gotta think about that too. And I really wasn't thinking about it too. I was like, of course, like Trump's just gonna go for office even if he gets convicted because he's Trump and he really doesn't care and he's never had to deal with accountability in his life as a young what is the word, trust fund baby. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't think he can actually go to jail. Or if he gets fined, he probably made way too much off of the scam. If you guys don't know, most of Trump's businesses completely fail. I have a video, scroll down pretty far. But I have a video about Trump and all of his businesses, and pretty much like it seems like probably I would say about 65-70% of them hit bankruptcy, and he kind of works with the tax system very well, and it's smart business, but kind of bad business, I guess. You come out making money, but your businesses aren't actually really successful. Some of them are though. Shout out, some of those Trump hotels. I know you guys stayed in them. Now it says false news, of course, consistently denied and knowingly made false claims about the election. It is alleged that Dominion is cherry-picking quotes from depositions and documents gathered through discovery. Fox Corporation has also said in court papers in the past year discovery has shown the media has played no role in the creation or publication of the challenge statements, all of which were aired in either Fox Business Network or Fox News Channel. All right, let's see here. I want to see if they don't have anything about. Okay, all right. So I think I'll leave it at that. So let me know what do you guys think about this whole thing? Do you guys think Fox News was really hiding stuff? Do you guys think like we need more info? I feel like we kind of do need some more information. Like I'm trying to know, how are these text messages got? How are these emails? Emails are between exactly who? Like what was going on with that? How exactly did he directly which, I mean, it looks like they have that, but I'm ready for the public to get it. I need it. You know what I'm saying? Like what exactly did they say that spun it while they had information that was different? You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. And I could definitely believe that Fox News be out here lying. I be thinking all these news networks be out here lying. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. I could definitely see it. Like, I could definitely see it, and they haven't been touched for years. What does that mean? They haven't been tested for years. There's been no fear in their heart from some type of agency or them possibly getting canceled to make them be like, oh, wait, hey, make sure that's accurate, because if it's not, they gonna crack down on you. When have you guys ever heard that happen to a large local news network? You haven't, because it doesn't happen to them and everything like that. But let me get some more water. And let's get into this next topic, y'all. I might be able to touch the WeightWatchers one today, maybe. But later we about to get into this. Jada Pinkett Smith pretty much comes in with her response. She really should have dropped a project. She should have dropped a 4-song EP roasting Chris Rock, like just hitting him with everything she got. But let's keep it a stack. When you're actually in the wrong, you really don't have much to say back. You can just hate and make fun of people, but you really don't have much to actually say. But let me get some water because it's about to get juicy, y'all. Jada Pinkett. Y'all remember when Jada Pinkett used to be like the move? Like she used to be like, she went from being like the black community's one of their sweethearts, like Will Smith's girlfriend in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Nia Long, like Miss Cosby, like Miss Cosby, like the black sweethearts, and then she just threw it all away and she ruined Will. Like, dang, we loved Will. I used to love Will. Like, I'll be back, y'all. I get emotional. Like Will, like she took Will from us. Y'all. Come on, Jada, why? Get into this Will and Jada real quick. Shout out to all y'all too that showed love and like the Chris Tucker first initial video talking about Will Smith and Meghan Markle. Shout out to y'all. Y'all showed that a lot of love. It got a lot of views. I really do appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You guys rock with me, and I'm gonna keep rocking with y'all with this news. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be coming with it. Unedited, uncensored, unless YouTube doesn't like a word, then I'm probably not say it. So 2% censored, you feel me? All right, now let's see. Make myself a little smaller. As y'all know, y'all not trying to see my big head. I already understand. Now it says here, Jada Pinkett Smith has no part in Will Smith's feud with Chris Rock. The comedian is obsessed with her. All right, Jada. Okay. Now it said, how did Jada Pinkett Smith respond to the Chris Rock selective outrage? As you guys know, his Netflix special was called Selective Outrage. Now it says Jada Pinkett Smith hasn't issued a statement in response to selective outrage, but sources close to her and her husband say they both want to put the attack behind them. And if you guys don't know much about media, this is essentially their statement before their statement. If you guys know what celebrities do a lot of times when they don't want to make statements in situations like this, direct statements, they'll put out a statement for the news channel and then all of them will eat it up. You'll know that it was actually eaten up and that it was official because multiple news channels will cover it. Multiple news channels will cover it, and they'll say that it came from a source from their camp or, something like that. So it kind of lets you know kind of how the people are feeling, possibly. You never really know until they come out and fully say something, nor can you really take that as law, because it isn't technically from them, but it is a lot of things. Like, if people like the Kardashians do that all the time. Like, I'm not going to make a statement, but I want to push a narrative, so I'm going to say I kind of feel like this way, and then the news comes out and they will say sources from this person feel this type of way, Now it says Jada had no part in all of this other than being heckled. An insider told People in an article published March 6, 2013. Chris is obsessed with her, and that's been going on for 30 years. Look where he chose to film his Netflix special, her hometown of Baltimore. Obsessed. Now, guys, let me hit a sip before I get started. Y'all really think Chris Rock is obsessed with Jada Smith? Like, Chris Rock is not obsessed with Jada Smith. Like, no one is obsessed with Jada Smith. Like, maybe if you think back in the day, the only 10% of me that could possibly think this is possible is because, like I said before, Jada was kind of back in the day, when she was not dating, but, very friendly, best of friends, with Tupac, and everything like that. Then, she was a high level commodity out here. He said August is obsessed with August Wesley. Well, shout out to my boy Wesley Pippin. You know what I'm saying? We call him Wesley Pippin, and he Pippin because he got the jumper. Shout out to Wesley. Wesley, tell him about your jumper. Tell him about your jumper, bro. You know what I'm saying? Wesley's he's a great guy. Great guy. Great man. August is not obsessed with Jada. I think August might be. I think now he's in a homosexual relationship, I want to say. I don't know if they're still together or anything like that, but that was the last thing I heard about him. Wesley, this shot wet. This Wesley. Wesley Pippin. But yeah, August Alsina, I think the last thing I heard about him was like, it was in the same week, so I don't know if they were like promoting or trying to push some of his music, maybe the new single or anything like that. But it was like the same week or the same 2 weeks that Tory Lanez assaulted him, which not too much really came out with that with the news and everything like that, was the same week that he had pretty much announced that he had a boyfriend and, that he was kind of out here and everything like that. But we already know, August is definitely was Jada's, entanglement. He was entangled with her. They were entangled. Like, they just got caught. Like, they were just walking down the street, and then they just got caught up in some webs, and then they were entangled with each other. Like, shout out there. Appreciate the like. Oh man, but you already know this is Chris Rock coming for his revenge. Like I always say, the last thing you want to mess with is not only a comedian. The last type of person you want to mess with is a OG comedian. They will tear you up. That's like if you know there's a kid in class that be joning on everybody, and if you guys don't know what joning in is, basically roasting or making fun of somebody. If you know there's the kid in the back of the class that be joning on everybody, why would you go up and mess with him? Cause he gonna start talking about your mama, he gonna start talking about your grandma, he gonna talk about your teeth, he gonna talk about your hairline, he gonna tear you up. Wesley, no, my boy Wesley will tell you. He will tear you up. So what do? You say, oh, no, I ain't going to mess with him. If I got jokes to make, I might have to make it on somebody else. But I'm not going to mess with him because I already know he going to come back 3 times as hard as I came back. This was not a game. You do not play with comedians, guys. Guys, don't play with comedians. Especially OGs. The Bernie Macs, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't play with them. Like, don't play with them. You know what I'm saying? The Kevin Harts, the Dave Chappelle's, the clapback. That's what I'm saying. The clapback is real life dangerous. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. Your woman gonna be looking at you like you just gonna take just how Jada was looking at Will. Oh, so you just gonna take that? Next thing you know, you in a fight. Now you in the back of a police car, all because you tried to defend your woman. Let me take a sip. Because I wasn't even trying to talk about the Jaden Will Smith situation. I was just talking about what will happen if you mess with a comedian. Wow. It's crazy. We really cycled back. Actually, I'm going to have to hit a little beer for this. Cheers, Wesley, if you got any drink. Shout out my boy Big Pippin. Big Pippin. And pimping. Now, let's see what's going on. All right, so it says, obviously, we already know Smith has repeatedly apologized for his behavior at the Oscars. March 27th, 2022. Cracking one now. Cheers, my guy. Cheers, my guy. And he shared his statement. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. True. To a degree, sometimes you got to hit a little slap box with your boy, just to handle a little dispute real quick. Nothing violent though. Nothing too violent though. But definitely this type of, walking up on stage and slapping a man like that is inexcusable. His behavior was unacceptable and inexcusable, like I said. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. Yes, the jokes hurt. That's kind of what makes the jokes. If you guys have ever been to a comedy show, especially an African-American comedy show, they gonna point you out. Wesley already know. Wesley gonna pull up. He gonna have him a nice little thing with him and everything like that. He gonna pull up to the Black Comedy Club, and he already know, like, they gonna joan on you. They gonna be pointing him out. They gonna be like, why that white kid so fresh? Why he so fresh? Why he got the J's looking like? Why he got the J's like that? They gonna point because you gonna catch their eye. They gonna point you out and they gonna start coming at you, and it's gonna hurt, and they gonna come for your sensitive sides. But it's all gonna be love at the end, and that's the thing. Is all love at the end because it's all in comedy. Like, that's the thing. It's not like Wesley already know. Like, Wesley already know. It wouldn't be like he hates you. Like, he got a problem with you. He just saw, oh wow, that's somebody I should point out. We got the white dude in the Black Comedy Club. He looking fresh. He got the J's on. Like, woo. Like, you know what I'm saying? He about to come at you. And he at the end of the day, really, if you catch your eye, if you catch the comedian's eye, sometimes that's a good thing. There either going to be 2 reasons the comedian catch you. Because you stand out because of a good reason, and that's why he looked at you, and now he got his sights on you, or because you ugly. It's going to be one of the 2 things. Like, type. So it's not always even bad for a comedian to joan on you. Like, your girl might just be looking good, and he saw your girl, And like some comedians really in a lot of these little spots, they be like, dang, the girl looking good. Like I'm about to just, I'm about to just roast them down real quick. Exactly. If you can't laugh at yourself, you'll never make it. You'll never make it. Now let's see. I want to see how Jada feel. There we go. Here's the look at the slap. Look at the slap. Oh, look at his face. Y'all thought he was about to just take. Look at his face. Look at this picture. Y'all thought he was about to just take that and he's a comedian? Oh, y'all wild. Come on now. We got to do better. We got to do better. Come on, y'all. Now, let's see how Jada was feeling. Now it says for Jada's part, she's and you guys already know it also depends too on who does this article side with. Chris Rock does it side with Jada because the writer, that makes a big difference as to how it's perceived. So that's just one thing to take into consideration. Now it says for Jada's part, she's expressed her desire for the two men to reconcile. Of course you did. Your husband was the one that did the slapping. Like, I bet if your husband was the one that got slapped and you got embarrassed and everybody was talking about how your husband got slapped, I don't feel like you would be sitting there. You probably wouldn't be saying nothing. She'd be on the Red Table Talk killing that man. Just like she killed her husband. We all saw that. So, Will, how did you feel about my entanglement? Come on now. Come on now. Now, Pinkett Smith shared her thoughts about her husband's attack on Rock and made a mention of her alopecia. Yeah, I think I said that. Oh, no, I didn't. Alopecia. Sorry about that. You guys know the term for medical. There it says. From medical hair loss and can be caused by a wide variety of medical conditions. And I was talking to my boy earlier, and he was saying, he was like, nah, bro, like, you can't, like, talk about her man, wife, like, when she got, like, a medical condition. I feel that, and I kind of understood where he was coming from. But at the same time, Will Smith did get up and, like, slap this man over this, so it's kind of like a... And then when you kind of hear the backstory, too, I hope it kind of gets into it. Then it kind of explains it a little bit more why Chris Rock would have did that. But also, too, if you guys have ever watched the Oscars, the best hosts are the ones that go in on people. And the things that, the jokes that will hit the hardest and things like this is you're really supposed to humble the people in the crowd. The person who goes to, like Jada, who literally boycotted the Oscars and everything like that because Will, I already got into it, because Will didn't win concussion, she boycotted the Oscars, pretty much talked trash about the Oscars, and then showed up at the Oscars. And they hired the comedian to humble the audience. You already have an audience of people with super egos, multi-millionaire actors, you know what I'm saying, professional sports players, rappers at the top of their game, because they don't even like rappers in there. They be like, y'all too ratchet. Like, they don't even be having that. Like, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. So it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's just a sticky situation. You got a black man over here hosting the Oscars and you go up and slap this man. Like, come on now. Yeah, like, come on now. Because he told a joke. Y'all handle that. Y'all got each other numbers too. Y'all got to handle that another type of way. Walking up and slapping. It's not the way to do it. Now, she said she then directly referred to her husband and Rock, urging them to reconcile. Now, about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. And yeah, I think we all want that. I do think we all want that. But Jada, gotta show some accountability. Will thought the joke was funny. That's one thing we're missing too. Will thought the joke was funny. And if you guys remember the joke was a G.I. Jane joke who has short hair. A very powerful, strong woman with short hair. It wasn't even like I'm hating on you for your short hair. It was like, I'm comparing you to a strong woman with short hair because you have short hair. It wasn't even like a joke that was really meant to be. It was almost even a joke that some people could look at and see, like, wow, that's almost to a way like a compliment. Like, not even, obviously you're not going to consider it a complete compliment. But the point is she was compared to G.I. Jane, a strong woman that has, you make the comparison. Strong woman with no hair, strong woman with no hair. That's where the joke lied. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. It wasn't like he was coming at alopecia, people with alopecia, people who, don't have hair. And I don't even know if he knew, because a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't know that until this either. So, maybe he knew. He's worked in the industry, so we should assume that he knew, but come on now, Now, the state of the world today, we need them both, and we'll actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing what to do. We have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring this thing called life out together. Probably shouldn't be sleeping with your son's friend if you're trying to figure life out together. I'm just going to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, I don't know no parts of life that, I don't know no parts of life that involve that. If I feel like some part of my life involves me having a wife and sleeping with my daughter's friend, of course over age, then bro, I don't want no parts of that life. I don't want none of that. I don't want marriage. I don't want none of that. All that is wrong. Count me out. And if anybody has anything to do with that, I feel like they allowed to get roasted. Why are you allowed to do that? Think of how bad that sounded when I said it out loud. Why is Jada not getting that? What's wrong with Chris Rock for saying that? It's insane. It's insane. Now, of course, it says during selective outage, what the Netflix special is called, which is dropped on March 4th, 2023. He appeared to still harbor resentment for the Smith and the attack. Of course, if I got slapped like that on national TV, I would make a 4 video part series on a dude. Like, yeah, we about to roast, we about to go in. I'm making notes. I'm ready. I'm coming with my notepad. Now it said, titling the special in direct reference to Smith, Will Smith practices selective outrage. Years ago, his wife said I should quit the Oscars because her man didn't get nominated for concussion, like I was telling you guys. And then her husband effing gives me a concussion. Because what happened essentially was Jada was mad. Will didn't get an Oscar for concussion at the last Oscar. It might have been 2 Oscars. No, I think it was the last Oscar. So she literally was like, we're boycotting the Oscars because Will didn't get it. Chris Rock was either supposed to host it or had a part to play in it or something. And she really had the audacity to tell Chris Rock he shouldn't go to the Oscars because Will Smith didn't get an Oscar for concussion, which a lot of people said sucked. And I saw Concussion, and Concussion, actually, I thought it was decent. But notice how I said I thought it was decent. Movies that are decent do not win the Oscars. Movies that are decent do not win the Oscars. And I saw Concussion, so I know exactly what he's talking about. Concussion was alright. I'd watch it. I wouldn't pay for it. I would watch it here if it was there. And if it's not on the screen, then I really don't care. I don't have a desire to see Concussion again. Maybe if I got some family on there, maybe I throw Concussion on there because they'd be like, "Oh, that's that boy Will Smith." I'm sorry, aunts and grandmas and stuff. Oh, that's that boy Will Smith. I'm sorry, y'all. Much love. Mwah. But let's continue here. Now he said, nobody is picking on this B. It's time he's spoken publicly about the incident, having dodged interviews and insisting he's no victim. He said he's no victim. He took that slap like a man, and he handled it like a man. He stayed down till the come up, and now was his come up. A year later, on a Netflix special, doing what he does. And that's the thing, too. If you just get on, let's say you get on Instagram and you just start roasting somebody because you mad, that's one thing. That's kind of a little bit more of hating because you mad because you got slapped. Your job is a comedian. His job, that's one thing I think people don't really acknowledge enough. This man's job is to be a comedian. He's supposed to pour his heart out into his work, and his work is to make jokes. He gets slapped. It's a very traumatic time in his life, and we don't think that he's going to make jokes. If he's not going to make jokes on his life, what do we really want? Like, what do we want? We want comedians that can't make jokes on their life experiences. I don't want that. Is that what woke culture is doing for us? Is that what woke culture? Is that the win? Like, you gotta think about it too, like woke culture, like where's the end? All right, so we gotta think about like what is the end game of woke culture? What do you guys see the world being like? Do you guys see it being better? You guys see it being worse? Like, are there going to be more families? Is business going to be ran better? Are people's lives genuinely going to be better? People are more depressed than ever. Families are more broken than ever. This woke culture, it's not working. It's just not working. And it's also because people are soft. And that's why they can't handle this. Now, let's say Will apologize to Chris and would like for Chris to let it go. Of course he wants Chris to let it go. Will has worked on himself and has been banned for the Oscars for 10 years. He feels like that's enough and wants Chris to move on and everyone else too. Of course he wants this. We're not worried about that. We're worried about the Jada, if there's any Jada in here. Now, and everything like that. Oh, there's Jada again. Look at her. You know, she reminds me of like the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, especially in that outfit. Like, I'm getting Wicked Witch of the West vibes. You know? And Jada, I'm sorry. Like, I want to love you. I used to love you back in the day. I thought you were great. And then you ruined Will. First you ruined Will. Then you embarrassed him on national television. And then he got embarrassed even more on national television. And I wanted Will to have a legacy, which he was going to have. He literally, did he win an Oscar? I think he won an Oscar that night. He did win an Oscar that night for the Serena and Venus Williams film, the tennis film. He won an Oscar that night, and his entire night was ruined all because of situation dealing with this, because this man could not take it anymore, getting clowned on about a situation that his wife put him through, and then interviewed him about his pain. Ruined one of my childhood stars. Now, is it all Jada's fault? Absolutely not. Will definitely bears a lot of responsibility. But Jada has to show some accountability, and how much accountability has Will's had to take it. He's been banned. He's been embarrassed in front of national TV. He's been embarrassed about his wife literally cheating on him with August Alsina. He's literally gotten embarrassed again by this comedy show. Jada has shown no accountability. When has Jada, for any of this, said, "I'm sorry"? We've heard Will apologize plenty of times. I don't know how many apologies from Will I can take anymore. I done had enough. I feel like he done left letters in my mailbox trying to apologize to me just because he felt like he had to apologize. When has Jada ever apologized? All this we've been dealing with? All of these years. I can't remember one apology. It's a shame, y'all. This is what woke culture has. A lack of accountability, and people eat it up. Had to hit some water with that. Come on now. Now they're saying, the G.I. Jane joke. They're talking about, Will Smith just smacked me and everything like that. Like, I think we're going to close here, but I think this was a real good conversation. I think that there was a lot of different, obviously there's a lot of different ways to think about it. You guys obviously see my opinion and everything like that. But for my guys who are on Will and Jada's side, my guys and gals, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I want to see what you guys think about it. Like, do you guys think it was too far? Chris Rock just took it too far, and like at that point it was too much, and it was just kind of war. I can understand if you feel that way and everything like that. If you guys feel like the Netflix comedy special was too late, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people, like my homie was telling me like it feels like, oh well, it's been way too late. Like, why you address it now? Whereas people like me kind of feel like, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You hold it down. You figure it out. You said Jada took it too far. Pippin. Shout out Pippin. Yeah, Jada took it too far. I feel like Jada took it too far. And then she looked at Will. Will was laughing. Will was like, ha ha ha. Looked over. He knew he was about to go through it that night. He knew when he got back to the crib, Jada was about to be mad. You know what I'm saying? She was not gonna cuddle him at night and watch a movie with him on Flicks. So then he was like, oh, nope, I got to slap this man or my night is over with. Like, so like he went up and he did what he felt he had to do. And I mean, I think it was wrong, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But guys, if you feel differently, definitely let me know in the comments like that. Also like and subscribe on the video, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Shout out to Wesley, Pippin, and Drea for popping in here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Wesley, for staying in here with me, bro. Like, you really wrote it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all got to get you a friend like Wesley Pippin. And if you need somebody on the court, you better get you a friend like Wesley Pippin, like Scottie Pippen. But I hope you guys all have a great night. Wesley, you definitely have a great night too. It's been a good stream. I appreciate all y'all, and I hope y'all have a great day. Let's sign up out of here. Love y'all.